freestyle today, guys. Jess is gonna pull some cards. She's gonna talk a little about how she got started in it. Please
Right.
drop us a like and subscribe, please. Thank you very much.
These are the angel cards. There's probably four decks. I started off with one when I originally started.
Mm.
And as I kind of grew with what I was doing, I would just like add in more and more decks. But to give a brief background, I started to have, really interesting experiences when I was little. I was actually really afraid of kind of things that were happening. Um, my grandfather died, and I think I was like, I don't know, maybe like around 8 or 9. And I lived with my dad. It was his dad, and he would turn the lamp on all the time, and I would like make sure I shut it off, and then it would be turned on again. And it freaked me out, and I could like feel him. We lived in an apartment. I could feel his presence in the apartment. I couldn't see him, but I knew he was there. And he would turn the lamp on, and I I was afraid. I didn't understand how I could feel someone but not see them because I was little, and it freaked me out. So I just remember like hiding under the covers and like not wanting to like ever like deal with that. And it eventually went away. Um, but when I was probably like around 11 or 12, I had a best friend that lived down the street. I used to sleep at her house every weekend. And I don't know if she ends up seeing this, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But her brother died. He got hit by a drunk driver. He was like in a car with a bunch of other teenagers. They were like 16, they were older than us. And I had an older sister. I have an older sister, and we used to like play manhunt. And we were always like in this big group in the neighborhood with like, me and my friends, and then our older siblings. So we were all really close, because back then you just all hung around the neighborhood,
Yeah, very
and
silly.
all of a sudden he was gone, he was dead. And he was there every weekend when I would sleep over. So the next time I slept over, he was, physically dead. I felt him in the room with us, and I was super uncomfortable. And I remember sharing it with her, like, listen, I feel your brother in the room. I'm like freaked out. I was like, I have to leave. I have to go home. And because I don't know how to explain it, but it literally feels like someone's sitting right next to you, but you don't see them.
Yeah.
Right. And she couldn't feel it. She was like, "Oh no, don't be afraid, like stay or whatever." And I was like, "Fuck this." And I like ran home. It was like two in the morning or something. I never slept there again.
Really?
And no, I didn't go to the
Terrible.
funeral. Um, I I was like oddly traumatized because I didn't really understand death at the time. I kind of did, but I didn't understand like how he could be there but yet be dead. And I was watching all these people grieve because it was like really sad. Um, and it changed the whole dynamic of our neighborhood and stuff. But going forward, I just kind of shut it off. And then I got older, and I met someone like a soulmate, a boyfriend. And make a long story short, I had a feeling, while we were together, that he was going to die. It was not a good feeling, and I knew intuitively. I was like, he's going to die. And I said something to my sister. There was no cell phones back then. I just had a bad feeling. I was like, he's going to die. And she was like, no, you're just being paranoid, blah blah blah. um well, the next day we got a phone call that he was found dead. And I was like, this shit is like not a coincidence.
No.
Like and at that time I didn't understand. Like I thought I could have did something to prevent it. So
Yeah.
that's when I started to really kind of dive in um and really work with my intuition and kind of make peace with it and open it up and stuff like that, because I had to go through a huge healing journey because I was like in love with this person and then they died.
Yeah.
And oh, and one other thing which is huge, but I was told because I didn't remember. When I was 9 months old, um and this is how I believe in angels and stuff like this. I was in a stroller with my mom. My older sister was 3 or 4 because she was older. She was walking. And I don't know, back then they didn't have elevators or something. So my mom was like trying to put the stroller like on the escalator in the
Mhm.
mall, second floor. It was like Sears or something. And you know how escalators are, they're kind of like odd, right? So she's putting the stroller on. My sister was afraid and pulled on her. My mother falls backwards. The stroller, I'm in it, goes tumbling down.
Wow.
And my mom said that she saw an arm, but it wasn't like attached to anything. Just like an arm grabbed the stroller and picked it back up and put it back on the second floor. And my mother got up off the floor and was like in a panic, and everyone thought she was fucking crazy. So she grabbed us and left. And she went home and told my father, and he was like, "Oh, that was like, guardian angel or whatever." Like, yeah, I was pretty much gonna die. And they told me when I was old enough, and that's when I was kind of like, like, all right, so we all have a time here.
Mhm.
If it's not our time, like it will be divinely intervened. Um, and if it is our time, then there's nothing really any of us can do.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of really got into believing and knowing that, oh look, and the card divine timing is at the top. I just noticed that.
Just so everybody knows, uh, I want to share one quick story, but Jess's contact in my phone, it says Jess, and then it's the mind exploding emoji. And every time you call, it's like, Jess, mind exploding emoji calling. But funny story when you just shared about the lamp. Before you start with the cards, or you want to start, do your thing, I'll tell you this. When I was a kid, my father's mother, um, she came to live with us. She had Alzheimer's. And, we cleaned out her house and, bring in the stuff. And there was a lamp that my dad had made in high school. And it was this little wooden thing. I remember a little spigot, and it looked like a little well pump, and it had an arm attached to the chain, and you pulled it down. So when we cleaned my grandma's, my dad told me, he says, I put it in my room next to my bed. And I'm in junior high school. My grandmother passed. When you just told that, I totally forgot about this. Wasn't the same as yours, but that fucking lamp, I would go in my room and I was no way it would, and I would shut it off, go eat dinner and play the fuckers on again. And it started to weird me out, and I had to take the lamp out of my room. And it's
Yeah.
just crazy. You just told that story, and I remember that happening.
Well,
Oh,
so they supposedly, from the other side, the easiest thing to manipulate are electronics, and also to visit during dreams because we're more like open to
mhm.
suggest. Um, I'll tell another quick story and then I'll show the cards. But my dad is not here anymore, and he died about 10 years ago when my daughter was 1, my oldest daughter. And I think he died in like June, and a bunch of time went by, and I didn't no visits from him or anything like that, which I thought was weird. And then all of a sudden, I was like pregnant with my second daughter, and I didn't feel good. And I like was going to get ginger ale, and I got in my truck, and I had satellite radio, and literally the radio turned by itself to Strictly Sinatra. And I just got this feeling like, oh my God. And I started crying, and I'm not like a super emotional person. I am able to cry, but it's not like I cry all the time. And I knew it was him. And when he was dying in the hospital, I had Strictly Sinatra on for him because that's the last thing that goes is our hearing. And I knew what kind of music he loved. And I got home and I looked at the calendar, and it was his birthday. And I didn't
Right.
even know because I was sick, I was pregnant, I wasn't really like, in the present moment. And I
Mhm.
was like, he died in June, his birthday is in February. So it was like a long time before he visited, like 9 months, I'd say.
Mhm.
Um, and then I was like, all right. And I felt some peace about it. Like it was sad and all, but I was just like, okay, he heard me playing the music, and he was letting me know like he's still here. So I just wanted to share that too, because that's, a lot of people struggle when people die. And I think if you ask for a sign and you're open to it,
Mhm.
um, they're always with us, regardless,
I'll tell you
right?
one more quick weird one. Yeah, there definitely are. I'll tell you one more quick weird story, and you can go. So when I started having all these weird things happen to me, I shared a lot of them. I don't share them with a lot of people. I just told my mom. And so I kind of think it little runs in my family. My mom shares a story she's never told me before. She said when she was a little kid, she has an older brother and sister. They're much older than her, like 10 years older than her. And the brother's the oldest, my Uncle Eddie. And he was in the Navy. So she said she's like 8 or 10 years old. He's deployed in the Navy. Early 60s or whatever, no internet, house phone. Wakes up in the middle of the night. She tells me the story. She said, I wake up in the middle of the night. I run into my parents' room. Oh, there's the emergency alert that's going to hit everybody's phone. So annoying. Thank you. Oh, yours is going to come in like 2 seconds. 2:20. Everybody's getting it.
What is that? Are we getting rain?
It's a nationwide test for the emergency broadcast system that's happening at 2:20. Like 5 people text me and said, yours is going to go off any second now. Anyways, she said she ran into her mom's room, woke both of her parents up like midnight. We got to go to the airport. Eddie's here. And her mom's like, she's like, does yours just go off?
Yeah.
So she goes, Eddie's here. He's came to visit. We have to go pick him up at the airport. And of course, she's like, my mom's like, it's the middle of the night. No, he's not. He's deployed. He's not. Go to bed. So my mother is adamant. No, Mom, we have to go. Get your clothes on. Why aren't you getting dressed? He's here. She said she's talking to her mom for 5 minutes. She said it's like a little after midnight. The house phone rings. Her mom picks the phone up. It's her brother. I got to leave. I'm at the airport. Come get me.
Love that. I just got the chills. All right.
Oh my God. So
no, because
I'm not even shitting you. I have like tingles on the back of my spine. And you said that. You made it weirder. Do your goddamn cards. Stop. Just do the cards, please. With my head constantly, girl. Do your cards.
We could do that for like hours. Let me figure out how to turn my camera. All right. So this is what came up. Energy healing was on the top. I think we were talking about this earlier with cleaning energy. I think everyone needs to have their energy cleared. No matter who you work with, go to someone that either does, healing, energy work. I obviously do it, but I've gone to shamans. If your energy is not clean or cleared, it's really difficult to manifest and to, kind of draw in positive and like-minded, things that you're wanting to have. So if you feel like things are not kind of like working out for you, you have to like really probably get your energy cleared. I've had people come to me or ask me questions about, well, why does this stuff keep happening to me? Why do I keep attracting blah, blah, blah? And let me
ask you a question. Can people clear energy on their own? Is there like things that they can do on their own to try and clear it?
If you're skilled, you can. I mean, I clear my own now, but I've been, working on it for a long time. I sage myself. I know how to clear myself, but I mean, I've done Reiki and Theta and I have all these certifications and I've, at meditating and all that stuff. But if you're like brand new or you're not like sure, I wouldn't suggest it now because you're not even probably aware of like how you feel around people. Right. You're probably not even aware of what you're emanating off to people. Okay. I'm just showing like some basic cards that I pulled. And, it's not, my Buddha in the background. It's not a coincidence if you are attracting negative things into your life. There's something that you're doing, even if you're not aware of it. Your energy, because like attracts like. Okay. So if you're in a high vibration, 70% of the day, we all have things happen to us where we get knocked down, stuff like that, or we have a day that we're tired. But if you're not like in a good vibration, then it's going to be really hard for things to show up for you.
That's fair.
Yeah. in it easily, or, your energy is not light. And I met this person last weekend and we chatted, and his energy was like super depressed.
Mhm.
And I tried to like mention it because he was like complaining about meeting people, his ex-wife, this and that. And I tried to say something lightly, and he was just like totally unaware. He was like, "What do you mean my energy is like this?" And I was like, "Your vibe is giving off this. I can feel it." He was like literally repelling me. Like, if I wasn't aware, I would have like ran away from him. But because I knew that he needed some help, I tried to like explain it to him, but he wasn't into looking at it. He was doing the blaming
If
and
they're not open to that, they're not going to take it well. They're gonna take it as an attack. "What do you mean? It's not me, it's this person." I mean, I shared with you, you know, somebody that, does had done some very intentionally, mean things to me, and you know what? It's the problem was me and how I handled it. Not that I didn't have the right to be angry, but when you give off that vibe and that you're in that lower vibration, that lower energy, yeah, you're gonna keep attracting that crap
yeah,
back to you.
the victim mentality does not help anyone. I
No.
don't care what's happened to you. I've had a million things done to me that I could say was wrong by someone, and really getting stuck in that, it doesn't hurt anyone but yourself.
Mm.
And then being open to it, if you're not getting what you want, and so for example, that person wanted like a new relationship. If you're having difficulties connecting with people, and people don't want to date you, they don't want to be around you, you can't keep blaming like an ex-partner, and you can't keep blaming other people. You really
No.
need to say, what am I doing, or what can I do to heal?
Yeah, 'cause
So
you're putting
I
that
have,
negative vibe out there and people are picking up on it, whether they consciously realize it like you did or unconscious, like, "Oh, there's something weird about this person." Like, "No, I wanna hang out with you. I don't wanna be around you. Like, this is we I have a weird vibe," or whatever, you know?
yeah. So I just think it's really important to have an awareness of like what kind of mood you're in, what you're trying to attract, what you're lacking in attracting. Um, and and you can't figure it out. There's so many different spiritual like people you can go to. My readings have helped a lot of people. Um, Not even the coaching or the counseling and the relationship stuff, but just like having like a basic spiritual understanding of like our, I don't know if it's our intention, or our choice, or our decision to like be stuck in a certain energy, or open our energy up, um and really kind of let go. And it's that old thing of like, you're angry at someone and you're carrying that shit around. It's like taking poison and expecting that person to suffer for it. It's never going to fucking work, and it's never going to get you anywhere.
That's a good point. It is a conscious decision, whether you realize it or not. It's a conscious decision to stay in that energy. I think I shared with you, like, when something upsets me, no matter what it is, that's a normal emotion, you know what I mean? But you can choose to hold on to that and have that nasty, gross feeling inside, or you can just like, zen it out or get rid of, just make the conscious decision to say, like, I don't like feeling like this, whatever this issue is, like, I'm gonna figure it out and that's it, move on.
This was another card. I don't know if I showed it. Peace. That's a decision to, um, you know, there's another one, healer.
Well, when we heal ourselves and we work through our things, you come to a place of peace. And when you find your peace, you find your happiness.
Well, and also some people are natural healers here. I
Yep.
mean, there's a reason why I I think everyone has intuition.
Mm.
Some people, can develop it more, or what have you, but I know like for me, like when I got into this kind of work like a little bit later, because I was on autopilot in my first career, like I was just like, oh, I was meant to like do this. And I knew like, all right, if I just follow my authenticity, like, um, manifest, and I'll help people and things like that. And I have, but it has to be a decision made by the person who wants the help to accept it, to you can't force this kind of work. You can't force breath work. You can't force meditation. It's going to be a choice to live consciously.
It's funny. I've I've shared, my friends know that I do it and stuff like that. And some of them have tried it before. And it's like the horse, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And they're like, one of my friends, I used to be, I mean, when I was younger and I would get upset, I would go off. I'd start like, screaming, yeah, like it was funny, you know what I mean? Like my friend, it was Italian, get upset, like, blah, 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 like waving my hands around. And
Mhm.
I was at work with this buddy of mine, Paul. I'd known the kid since like seventh or eighth, like 30 years. And I came in, we are working, his guys, I'm, hey guys, how you doing? And he just like looks up at me, he's like, you the fucking Dalai Lama these days? He's like, the fuck, man? I'm like, do you want like angry CJ back around? It's like, no, 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 I like this one. He's like, what the fuck, man? I was like, it helps. But it's crazy because when you get yourself to like a place where you're more calm and you're more relaxed all the time, and you talk to other people, like you said, you can just pick up on their energy and they're just telling you something. And it's like, I remember talking to this one woman and she's like, yeah, I got divorced and I have my daughter and the divorce is finalized and da 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 da. I'm like, oh, how long ago did you, like get divorced or whatever? And I'm just married this guy for 10 years. Well, like a year and a half ago, I was just like, and she was just so like had so much negative energy about the issues that they were still dealing with. I was just like, and she's like, yeah, and my hands shake, and when I'm upset, that manifests my hand shaking, and I'm just like, and she's pretty spiritual. I was like, do you think maybe you need to do like tiny bit more, like like magic, like keep your no, I can't do that. And I'm like, about all this, and she's like, yeah, I know. Why is this happening for me? And I've been to like 10 therapists and da da da. I was just like, oh my God. Like, honey, you've done a lot of work, but you're still a dumpster fire. Like, God, like, all these great things and you can't see it on yourself. It happens. It does.
Yeah, the nervous system will react to the energy as well. Like, so strangers will pick up on it, people near you, but also your nervous system. It's not meant to handle that kind of stuff. Like our mind tells the body what to do. So if we're talking negatively inside all the time, it's not good for the body,
I think it's the
Supposedly
body reacting to your own energy too.
a lot of shamans and stuff, and I don't know who else, but I've spoken to like, a couple shamans, and they believe that cancer is caused by anger that's stored in the body that people don't process out, and so it stores as energy. And also, oh, Dr. Emoto with the water and stuff, and he like did the crystallizations and he spoke to two different waters, two different ways, one with love, one with anger.
Mhm.
If you read about it, it's been
No, they've
around.
done that they've done studies with that with plants. They're talking to plants, make
Yes.
them grow. And they've had one, I love you, and calm music all the time. They have another room of plants where it's like heavy metal music and people argue and the literally, I think it was on Discovery, and they just showed the results of how they grow. I think they were like bean plants or something like that.
Yeah. So the key takeaway, because I got to jump off in like 2 minutes. The key takeaway is choose your mood wisely every day.
Mhm.
And if you are in a lower vibration, you're grieving, whatever, that's fine. Just try not to get like stuck in it for long periods of time. Try to seek a healer, um, some sort of resolve. I know for me, all my spiritual tools help me get through everything. And I've dealt with a health crisis, losing loved ones to death, you know, being a single parent, whatever the challenges are, nothing is too great that you can't do healing, forgiving, letting go, thank you, I love you, and moving on and holding a gratitude um attitude, and just being thankful, because most of the time things work out, or actually all the time things work out for
They're
me.
always working out for me. Somebody told
Yeah.
me that.
Oh wow, what a wise person.
Very wise, very wise. I had a thought, but it escaped me, so I don't know.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe.
I could attach my website to the channel as well. So if people want to like book a reading, or they want to ask questions, or even have an idea for a topic that they want you to speak on, they want me to speak on, they want us to speak on, whatever, like we'll talk
Leave
about it.
this in here, guys. Like, leave some comments. We'll get all of Jess's stuff put in the descriptions. And yeah, she does private readings, stuff like that. And she did one for me. Blew my friggin' mind. So she's talented. She has a gift. We're here to share it with everybody, whoever's watching this.
Just basic, like if someone has a question, like a female or a woman has a question that wants a male perspective, you'll answer it, we'll talk about it, and vice versa. If you guys need a female perspective on something about love, relationships, anything, like knowledge is power, and it helps, you know, us kind of like grow and learn and connect easier.
That is for sure. All right, we'll wrap this one up here.